These are the power leads. We like to use, let me move my amplifier here. Where's my handle? There she is. Ugh. This is the stuff we like to use for the power leads. They're only 30 amp power supplies. Yeah. They're only 30 amp power supplies, so I see why somebody would use this. But this is what we like to use. So the difference is pretty much that. I was gonna leave him and I said, you know, you want to run right, you gotta do it right. Switchers, they're being run on 110. So where's my, why is that one not marked? Here they are. $400 watt, 30 amp at 100% at 220 input. Okay, 36 amps. What's this? What are they saying here? So basically, these are going to be, they're saying 36 amps at 12 volts, 15 volts. They're going to be, I can tell you exactly what it is. I get my calculator out of this. Right now, it's another day in the middle of the night and I'm tired. So anyways, they're 400 watts divided by, let's say 15, right? That's going to be your amperage output. So there's six of these. I don't even check if they all work yet. But there's 6 of those. Some make noises when you shake them. I don't know what's going on inside of some of these. Say 6 times 30 amps is 6 times 3 is 18, 180 amps. Right here. Maximum. I think it would actually be less. I had my calculator in front of me. Probably 150 amps you might get out of these at full bore at 110 volt. So these are the new 1400 watts. You heard me, those are 400, these are 1400 watt Platinum Plus switchers by HP. 2 of these would run it. 2 of these would run it. Sorry about the shaky video. 3's better, just so it glides. And so that's how much room it'd take. 1, 2, say 3, about that wide. Versus all that was in there. So it's 3 wires coming here, be boom, boom, boom. This is the cable we'd use. Grounds would be along here. A lot less stuff going on in there. When you had all this stuff going on in there, you know what I mean? All these wires, all kind of crazy stuff going on in there. Much cleaner. It'll do more watts because we'll get more volts out of these. It'll sustain the volts better. They'll run better because they're just better power supplies by 10 times than these cheap LED power supplies. But that's what they had back then. Everybody used them. So I change them all the time because you got a nice box here. It's a base box. 10 pill. It could run beautiful. And it will when I'm done. Looking at the tuning. They got 100 in, 100 out. No do. Never match the input and output on the capacitance. it to be not good. So we're gonna try it the way it is, see what happens, and I'm gonna change these to 150s. The wraps are good. These are 2 wraps, so these are 3 wraps. That's good. Everything else is good. Really, when I say good, I mean, of course, I took out the combiner. I like when they're strapped together. What I mean by that is these are just kind of floating here. I mean, it works, you know. But this had got some heat on it for some reason. Let me see. There was some heat going on in this thing. So we must do that right. Let me show you what I meant about floating. See how these are strapped like that? That's the way I like to do it. But it works like that, you know what I mean? It's just I wouldn't do it. The brass tuning tube was held on by goop of the week, and it went like that. This needs to be mounted to a piece of phenolic board, soldered down to, and the board needs to be connected to the box, so it won't fall off ever again. That needs to be done. Got at least 2 bills blown here and there, at least 2. I'm hoping that's all it is for you. But generally speaking, I mean, it's a great box. We have some issues with the box being all bent now because it crashed in shipping, and even this got pushed in a little bit, so you can see it's kind of not on the board there. See it? The board's all tweak city, baby. So we untweak and probably change those to make sure that's not going to be an issue. It's nothing worse than fixing an entire box and SO239s are bad, it blows a pill. The worst. That is worse, but that's what I'm saying. The bias is called bias bye-bye. We take bias and make it go bye-bye. I'm just going to give you my opinion. I'm nobody. I'm just a helper. That any box like this, it's really made for DC on AM. And you could talk on sideband, but as soon as you overdrive them, you blow them up. That's what happens. I mean, I always tell people I wouldn't like to see anything bigger than a 4-pill biased for a sideband with these boxes, unless somebody really knows what they're doing. And most of these guys who are talking on AM like we talk don't talk sideband, so when they go to try it, they blow it up. And then they go, why did it blow up? Well, if you knew how sideband worked, it's putting voltage into the input of the transistor. Very easy to overdrive and blow them up. It looks like it works great until they blow up. I think the keying circuit's working. I don't know. Got a great big transistor on it. I can't even see it. I don't know if it's a tip 31 or what it is. I mean, it's even bigger looking. I don't even know what it is. But that looks fine. The pills, there's been changed pills before because I see 60s and 59s and 63s, and so there's been issues before, but that's okay. Box is open. But we want to put this together 100% the clown way, so it works perfectly and it continues to work. We'll check every solder point, make sure everything's good, everything's correct, all the tuning is good, all the capacitance is right, the input and output is good, the parts are not bent like this, and we got them all straight and mounted and grounded properly. Most of the time these boxes get dropped and stuff, it breaks away the grounds down here. And so you got to check all those. It's shipping, man. People are nuts. This thing got beat up, but it's aluminum. We can get it straightened out. Might not be perfect, but it'll be a lot better than it was. You know what I mean? The top will go on, everything will screw together. But yeah. So far that's what we're doing. I got to pull the 2 bad pills out, check them, get some new ones in there, get the power supplies in place. Check all the grounds, all all this other stuff I was talking about. Get this old tuning tube back in place. And put it back together. And see if we can make her do some watts once again. Thanks for coming down to the farm. We'll talk to y'all later. Okay, it's midnight. I'm done. Took all these parts out. I'll try to reuse this. It should be good. I have to check it. Doesn't look fried. I'll do something with the combiner. But I changed the pills, cleaned everything up, checked all the solder here, cleaned the board up, took out all the components for the biasing. Put the grounded ends right to the ground. I didn't notice before, I gotta look back in the videos, but these were very close to the output. And I wonder if these were touching anywhere. That could have caused, obviously could have caused the problem blowing a pill because of this, which is port. Conductive, right? And it touches there on your output, it's not good. But I just moved them all over to make sure they're not gonna touch. I don't know if they did or not, but they were very close. Next thing I gotta do is put the power supplies in, rewire all that. I'm gonna try 2 power supplies. I think it's all it needs because these power supplies at 110, we're probably doing about 25 amps a piece. Okay, so theoretically you wouldn't need 10 of them. Sometimes really weird things happen. I installed 3 new power supplies. Wired them up beautifully. Well, I thought so. I'm gonna have to pay more attention to what I'm doing here. You got the 3 positives, you got the 3 grounds. 1 ground's going there, 1 ground's going there, 1 ground's going over there. Everything was cleaned up. Okay, put everything back together. There's a couple of small things I want to do, but you know, turn the power supply, even put a breaker on the back so I can wire it the way I like to wire it. And I turned it on, talked on the radio, swung about 9-10 watts, the radio. Turned on the box, did absolutely 0 watts. Just the radio going into it. Turned it off, checked the pills, every pill was burning hot. I'm going to bed. We'll figure it out tomorrow. Bye-bye. Okay, now that I had time to sleep, get my brain together, I was looking a little bit closer at this box. I'm going to be doing something I want to do for a long time. I put these in stock. They do a little over 12 volts. It's right out of the box, no modifications. I dropped them right in, okay? And they work. They're like 12.2 volts or something. And I want to run this box just like that, 12 volts. And then we're going to modify those 3 power supplies to 16 volts. And we're going to see the difference of how this box performs and these pills perform on 16 volts versus 12 volts. Wanting to do that for a long time, but I had not too much time to do it. I think I'm going to make it happen so we can all learn from it and have a good old day. Anyways, yes, there's something wrong with me. Anyway, so I noticed a few things like this cap right here is 200 puff. I know, like, Okay, 200 puff on the splitter. So those are the input of the box. These are, well, they're upside down, so you can't see them anyway, but they're, what are they again? 5, hang on, I'm gonna put my eyeballs on. Oh, look how good and blurry that is. That's good for everyone to see very closely. These are 560s, so I'm gonna change them. I'm gonna put 390s on there. Not 330s, but 390s. Then, these are 100s. I'm gonna put 160s in there. So 160s, 390s. I'm gonna put 90 puff over there. I'm gonna make sure this tube is set decent. This tuning tube. And I'm gonna try to check everything else. I'm gonna have to put some resistors on the combiner when I get to that right now, but not right now. I just want to get this thing running. Right now it's doing no watts at all, 0. I don't know why, but it doesn't matter. 160s, 390s, 1000s, 100s, 90, blah, 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 whatever this ends up being over here, you know what I'm saying? 12 volts. We're going to leave this at 12 volts. We're going to run it that way first, and we're going to convert them. So let me see if I get the box running first, and we'll go from there. You know, you could do 1,000 boxes. You think you've seen it all. Well, for one, this is broken away. You see the ground back there? The ground back there, see it right back there? That's broken away. For the relay, the relet. I was having troubles. I turned this sucker on, no driver, just radio, and I'd key for a few seconds, and these pills would get hot. So I said, okay, I'll just isolate 1 2-pill section and test it like that. So I pull off the coax that goes to the splitter, which is the input to all these, and I pull off the coil that goes to the combiner that sends everything back through the relay. And I run this one completely by itself. This is the input into here. And the output is the white one. It goes down to the output of the relet. I keyed it up, not 1 watt. And these other pills, which are not connected, started heating up. And I'm talking within seconds. I only keyed it for 3 seconds. And they started heating up. They're not even connected to the circuit. So anyways, that's what's going on. I got to figure that out. But I put 390s on here. I put 160s on here. I retuned it over here. I put 333s on there, so it's 99 puff on the input. You know, I checked everything else again. I resoldered everything. Everything's resoldered. I made sure I resoldered all the grounds onto these small transformers because they were about to fall off. Okay, let's put it that way. You can see my powers are all isolated with my chokes. Everything's perfectly in place. I move these away from the input so they don't touch. I strapped the combiner so that would stay together very nicely. It's all attached to the board. It's not going to move. The coil's fine. This coil's fine. It's going to at least get me where I want to be. I checked to make sure none of these are grounding out down there. Somebody actually put rubber under there. You could see it. See the rubber down there? Like in here? See this? Because they're worried about it grounding, but they're not touching anyway. So I checked all those. I checked to make sure none of these are grounding in the front, and you can see the space underneath each one of them. Make sure everything's soldered properly. I checked all the 1000s for being soldered properly and that there's space between down in here. So that doesn't touch. Okay? So all those are fine. It's not grounding between them. It's hard to see from this angle, you know what I'm saying? But there's space there. Chase Base, The Final Frontier. Checked all those. Everything's good there. Well, as Mr. Rogers would say, it's another beautiful day in the neighborhood. Holy crap. So something funky's going on here. Some genie ass already knows this when they're watching it. I've been through this situation before, but it was different. It's not the same scenario. So whatever, I'll figure it out. So I want to let you know, we're working on it diligently, but when this box is done, it's going to talk. I can tell you that right now. It's a 10-pill, individual 2-pill sections that really seem to be very efficient, by the way, with these new power supplies. On 240, these will give you 300 amps. Yes, they will. On 110, not quite that many, but these actually overperform. So they call them 100s, but I built a 1,000 amp power supply. It slapped a 1,200 amp meter in the corner, amp meter, and they overperform. So it's going to have plenty of juice. Like I said, I've wanted to do this test for a long time. These are bone stock. I haven't modified them. They're at a little bit over 12 volts. We're going to try the box like that first, just to see what the box, how it performs and what it does, and then we'll take these and we'll modify them to 16 volts and slap them back in there and see the difference between before and after. I've been wanting to do that for a while. These things will work at 12 volts. I mean, they're great power supplies. You know, they got the amps is accurate. But anyways, I mean, you know, if you know Ohm's law, if you go from 12 volts to 15 volts, it brings the amperage down. But these things, I swear, they still do probably close to 100 amps at 15 volts. I mean, I pushed them to the hilt, and they do it. They'll shut off. They'll shut off at 110 amps, you know. They'll shut off at 110 amps, but even at 15 volts, I think they'll slap 90 amps probably all day. That's just from my little bit of testing that I did, but it doesn't matter what I'm just saying. With 3 of these in here, it's going to run this perfectly. At 16 volts, this thing should fly. But we got to figure out what's going on. These older 2SC2878 HG 16D08s, we had a lot of problem with oscillation, even when the boxes were off, okay? The newer ones, I don't have any problem yet, but we build them different too, a little bit different. We tune them different. But anyways, a typical, you know, easy little repair turns into a major rebuild here at the Clown Factory. What's new? But you know what? We don't let them go out unless they're right. I mean, that's just the way it is. And we do this because we like it, okay? We already, you know, I think most of you know that me and 28, because I'm 22, the Clown, 28 is 28 Chicago Video Gates. It's my brother. We own a jewelry store. We have a full-time gig, okay? We do this because we like it, and we want to do it better. We want to do some research and development, do crazy things, and push it to the limit. If you watch our videos, you understand that we do that. We start stuff on fire. We blow it up. You know, we're testing it to the hilt so we know what it really do. And we tune down to the puff. And we try to get every last watt out of these boxes, and with efficiency. And that's just nothing but trial and error, retuning, trying to retune the input, the output, all this stuff that we do. All the builders know what I'm talking about. It took them a long time to figure out the tuning for these, and sometimes these older 16 D08s, they could build 2 of the same boxes. The tuning's a little different, but whatever. So we want to get this box working 100%. When it's done, it's going to be a completely different box. It already looks different. I pulled out all the old crap that was in there, those cheap switching power supplies. Gone, okay? You need these if you want to do some talking. It's a beautiful base. We're going to get it just right. We'll see what happens, and that's it for today because I'm freaking tired. Good night.